What is going on, guys? We are back with another Torchlight Infinite video. Today I wanted to bring you the updated version of my Youga build. We've been putting some currency in it. We just got back from work, so I'll be putting more currency and more time into building them. While I was at work, I didn't have really a whole lot of time to grind out any money or anything, so there isn't too many changes. We did get a belt and a couple other little things. We increased the speed that he moves a little bit, so nothing crazy, but a little bit better play, right? Pushing T7 maps, no problem, farming and everything like that. So not bad. So let's get into it. Let's see what the updates are on the changes, see if it might look like something you might want to play. All right, now that we're back in game, we're still using Path of the Flames, we're still using Guard for defense, right? Cataclysm, spell concentration, elemental fusion, control spell, nothing's changed there. We're still using force start for our energy shield, all in, so that we can just hit it as hard as we can. Nothing changed there. I am using Soul Eating Circle instead of Scorch now, just because I wanted to give it a try, right? This Scorch is more focused on just your Path of Flames damage, whereas Soul Eating Circle is all elemental damage, including erosion damage, right? So it's a little bit better penetration for me. I haven't had no problems with it. Either one will work good for what you're for what you're doing. Just know that Scorch is more focused on your damage output of your Path of Flames. And as you can see, our Path of Flames is doing quite a bit of damage, whereas our Shadow Swamp is just doing like enemies off to the side, right? So that decision's up to you. You can put this as Scorch, no problems, especially if you're doing boss kills or anything like that, just to concentrate your Path of Flames damage, right? We're still using Thundercloud with Reaping Agony. That way, once you activate your Thundercloud, you get 5-6 stacks, and you're running. It's always reaping enemies because that Thundercloud is almost always hitting every enemy, right? Still using Mana Boil. We did change this from the Death Pact or Death Will, right? Because of the cost of life and mana and everything else. So I was effectively, when I was running it, I was effectively just draining my energy shield. So Mania, Mass Effect, Blood Will, or Bloodbath, if you want to use that. Any of those are good options. And once you get a good energy recharge rate you can withstand the effects of Death Will, you can put that on for your little bit more damage, right? So there's that. I did try a precise cast while channeling for a more Shadow Swamp cast out. The damage wasn't really there, so I'm sticking with just regular cast while channeling, right? We're still using Shadow Swamp. We're still using Reaping Agony, just so that we're always reaping with our Shadow Swamp. We're still using Thunder Imbue, right? Just for a chance to shock. It adds more shock-based damage. Another element, since we're speccing into a lot of element damage in the tree. Of course, Precise almost everything, just because they're really, really cheap. So Precise Auto Defense, that's using to link to our delayed pain so that we get a bigger injury buffer, and whenever we take big hits, it just gradually does the damage over time to us, right? So Energy Fortress for more energy shield, Magical Source to keep up our mana, and then Precise Swiftness so our speed can come up a little bit more. I am still using Elemental Resistance. You can get a Precise Elemental Resistance if you have one. That way you get the +1 to max Elemental Resistance. No big deal. If you can craft your gear and cap your elemental resistance, you can totally change this aura to another one, as long as your mana effectively works for you, right? If you want to put a more damage based aura in here, as long as you can get it in here and still seal everything, then you're good. So we are using a restraint just so that we can seal our mana. We are using a precise seal conversion still. This is probably one of the more expensive pieces for the whole build, because these are really, really expensive. But you need it just so you can stack as many auras as you can on your life, right? If you don't have this, you just have your regular seal conversion, then you're only going to be able to get like 2 auras instead of all of them. We're still using elemental amplification. I put a precise on just because they're pretty cheap, just so that we can do good elemental damage across the board, right? Because we are collectively doing our Path of Flames damage, our Thundercloud damage, and our Swamp damage, right? So all of them combined is what's giving us good numbers. Selfishness, so that we have an increased aura effect on us, and then Deep Pain for more dot damage. So that's all the skills. Nothing's really changed there. For the most part, the talent tree is still the same. I'm still using, Plague for dot damage, Subtle Impact for blur. We're still using these skill tree right here in Psychic, right? Nothing crazy has changed. I'm just trying some little things here and there. But for the most part, the tree is exactly how it's been from the last video. So we're still using Affliction. Still using Reaping Purification so we can reap our 80% of remaining dot damage, right? Still using Warlock. And then we're still speccing into our next main attack for 30 additional % damage, right? Because we're using Path of Flames. That's our first attack. And the next damaged attack that hits, whether it's Swamp or Thundercloud, will have a 30% additional damage to it. We're still using our +3 support skills levels just so we can get +3 on all of our support skills along with our restraint, right? Which really pushes that mana seal number up high. So nothing's changed too much on that. We have changed the hero traits, right? So the thing that's really effective for making Gem of super fast, especially if you're running the Autobomber version, right, is the hero memory effect. And I should have went over this in the first video because I was just trying different stuff to try to get the damage higher and everything else. But you can get you a good hero memory effect, right, with a +3 or a +4 if you can find them. They're probably pretty expensive. And then get you some T1 movement speeds. I went for Reaping Duration and Reaping Cooldown just so I could get my reaps to hit a lot faster. So you can see Reaping Movement, Cooldown Speed, and then another movement and Reaping Cooldown recovery speed, right? So the speed of the character, as you can see, is a lot faster than the original video. And that's just because of those changes right there, right? So it's not as super slow as it was. But it was because I was trying stuff. I should have said that in the other video, but those are the changes that we've made, right? Like I said, you can get a good T1 of these, or, get a 4 Ingram one and get a whole nother movement speed one. And then you're going to be taking off, right? So those have been changed. We'll go over the gear. I'm still crafting a lot of the gear, right? So in-game wand, you're going to want to take this spell damage off and put reap, right? So you Ominous Slam right here for reaps 1.5 damage per 6 seconds, right? I am trying the throne for plus channeled skills, right? And then get throne stacks, so additional damage per channeled skills. It's not bad at all. I'm not sure if another perfectly crafted in-game wand will be a lot more damage than that. I'm currently working on trying to figure that out. Like I said, I was at work, so I haven't been able to get all the currency. So I got a lot of work to do on rings, right? We'd want to get a Aurora ring with max energy shield on it. We'd want to get T1 reaping duration, T1 resistances, T1 energy shield, and there's another modifier for reap in the prefix that you can get, which is recommended, right? So a lot of work that can be done there. One of our big changes is the Light Hunter belt, right? You can still use the non-corroded version that has, not corroded right here for this 6% additional energy shield. And they're pretty cheap, like 12, 13. So nothing crazy there, but you will want to eventually get to this Light Hunter belt with this corrosion, so that for every time you get hit, your energy shield charge speed will come up a lot faster. So when you click your force start, your energy shield will just take off, right? So this is definitely a more expensive piece. I think I bought this one for 170 FE. They were around the 200 area, so this one is really expensive, but this is definitely a big defense boost to the build. And then we're still using King's Boon. Like, preferably we get a Reap's corrosion, but I went for movement speed just because they were super cheap. And then another big change that we have is on the Manila's Mist. I had the wrong necklace slotted during the video. You are going to want to get the Reap's 1 second of dot damage when hitting weakened enemies for a cooldown of 1 second, right? So this is like 50-60 FE when I bought mine. But this is definitely the necklace you want to go for this Reap's damage, right? And we're always weakening when we're casting Shadow Swamp. Gloves haven't changed, right? Reap's, you don't need Fervor. I just didn't feel right rolling over Fervor whenever I hit these, because I was trying to hit the T1 Reap and it hit Fervor instead, and then I rolled T1 Reap, right? So you don't need to have Fervor. Don't worry about Fervor. But you do want this Reap's damage, right? So we are using Eye of the Kraken right now just for better clear. As you can see, I'm still working on crafting some in-game helmets, but Eye of the Kraken works really well right now. It will definitely help you clear a lot faster. And I mean, it's explosion, so explosion's always comfortable, right? So we still got a lot of work to do on our chest piece. You want to go T1 gear energy shield. You're going to want to go T1% gear energy shield. You want to go T1 elemental resistance, T1 erosion resistance, and then I'm going to go explode. And whenever I put explode on my chest piece, I can get rid of the Kraken and I don't have to worry so much about the clear anymore and not be stuck using the Kraken all the rest of the game, right? So definitely a lot of work there. But yeah, as you can see, that is the build. And we'll run a map real quick just so you can see how fast it is now that we have those little bit of changes. It definitely much faster than the original video that I posted with the hero memory effect changes and everything else. So I come in, I cast my mana boil, I put my thundercloud up on channel stacks, right? So I get to 6 and it's reaping, and then I just hold down my mouse and I run, and that's it. Very nice, very easy. Not a bunch of buttons you have to press all the time, and you just run around, everything explodes. Yep. That's money right there. And every once in a while, cast your soul eating, right? Or if you're scorched, depending on if you're still using scorch, right? So either one of those are still good. I just wanted one that was more based on everything that I'm using to hit enemies with, and not just one focused curse for one skill, right? So see, the boss goes down pretty quickly. Right now, this isn't no dummy test billion hit right now, obviously, with how much I got left to craft. But you can see that I'm not like struggling during the map at all. Like, very nice damage. Boss goes down quick. No real big problems. And yeah, nice and easy. So hopefully in the next couple of days, now that I'm home and I can put, good 5-6 hours into playing the game every day, we can finish getting all this crafted and we can push it to the end game budget. Like perfect rolled rings, perfect rolled chests, perfect rolled wands and stuff. So that is the update that I got for you today. Thank you for checking out the video. I took some of the stuff that y'all said in comments and have been working on making them improvements on it, right? A lot of people were saying that it was slow and stuff like that. And I should have mentioned the hero memory effects in the original video because that was the plan from the get-go. I was just trying other ones to see if damage would like triple or something like that, right? So that's all we got for today. Hopefully in the next couple of days I'll have an update for big currency spending, in-game crafting and stuff like that. But thank you. Thanks for checking out the video. I very much appreciate it. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe. Any comments down below of the build or any questions you have, right? And you can always catch me live on Twitch for the next 2 weeks while I'm home. If you have any questions on the build or farming strategies, just swing on by and I will explain what I can of what I know. So much love.